In this presentation, we will see how to use calculation tags in the Open Automation software platform. Calculation tags are just like any other tag in that they consist of a value, timestamp, and quality. But the value is derived from a calculation rather than a static value, from a driver, or from another tag. You can think of calculations as being similar to the functions feature in Excel. A calculation can only output a single value that sets the tag's value property. But as with Excel, it can consist of multiple nested functions and operations. The OAS platform provides a collection of functions and operations out of the box, such as math, trigonometric, comparison, limit, logical, text, statistics, date, and JSON functions, as well as allowing you to reference other tags and their properties. If this is your first time learning about calculation tags, or you need a functions reference, you can visit the Calculation Tags reference articles available in the OAS knowledge base. Open the Tags then Calculations section and select the Getting Started link. You will find a complete listing of all functions in this reference guide. We are now going to see how to create a calculation tag using the Configure OAS application. Select the Configure menu and then select Tags. Let's create a new tag that generates a random value so that we can use it in our calculation. Click Add Tag and set the name to Random. We're going to set the data source to Simulation and the simulation type to Random. This will randomly generate a new tag value between 0 and 100 every second. Click on Apply Changes. Let's create a second tag and call it Random Halved. This will be our calculation tag, where we want to output half of the value of the random tag. Set the data source to Calculation. You can now see a calculation field and an Edit button. Click on the Edit button. You will see the Calculation Editor window. This is where you will edit your calculations. Select Insert Tag. Choose the tag that you want to insert. We want to divide the tag's value by 2, so type / and the number 2. Click OK to confirm the calculation. Click on Apply Changes. You can now see that the calculation tag is updating, and the value will always be half of the value of the random tag. Now let's look at some of the functions and syntax in more detail. Let's create a new tag group called Tag Group and a new tag called Tag A. As you saw previously, you can insert tags into your calculation using the Insert Tag button. Tag names are entered using their full tag path, including any tag groups. For example, if you have a tag group called Tag Group and a tag called Tag A, then this will be represented as taggroup.tag_a, and because we want to access the tag's value, we must also add .value. Finally, the tag path must be surrounded by square brackets. To insert a function, you can use the Insert Function button and select the function. For example, if I choose the Math category and then choose Divide, it will insert a division operand at the last cursor position. I can then type in a number or select another tag. If you've already learned the functions, you can just type the function directly. The ceiling function in this example will round the value to the next closest integer. Some functions take more than one argument. Each argument is separated by a comma inside the brackets. For example, an if statement takes the condition followed by the statement if the condition is true, followed by the statement if the condition is false. Each statement may consist of further nested functions or tags. Remember to click on Apply Changes to apply your changes. Now let's have a look at some of the string functions. Create a new tag called String. Change the data type to string and the data source to calculation. In calculations, strings are represented using double quotation marks. You can concatenate strings with other functions or tags using the ampersand symbol. OAS will automatically convert numerical values to strings. Here you can see the random value is now prefixed with the string current value. If we have a look at the text category of the Functions menu, we can see there are a number of useful string functions available. These include formatting, getting a substring, getting the length of a string, as well as matching and replacing strings. Here is an example of the string length function, which will output the length of a string. We can append this to our existing string output using string concatenation. After you apply the changes, you will see both the current value and the number of digits updating whenever the random value tag updates. String concatenation is great for application logging and displaying data on your HMI. Another interesting feature of calculation tags are the two tag alias operations, parent group and parent groups. To demonstrate the parent group alias, let's assume you have a tag structure as shown here. In the identifiers tag group, we can see two sites, Site A and Site B. Each of these contain an ID tag which represents a site ID. The Site A group in the root tag represents Site A and contains a Site ID tag. We want to source this from the identifier tag group using a calculation tag. Normally, we could just hard code the full tag path, but instead, we can use a tag alias to dynamically reference the name of the tag group where the tag currently resides. In this case, it would be Site A. If we then duplicate the site to create a new site, such as Site B, it means our calculation tags will continue to work, and they will reference the correct tag group in the identifiers tag group. Here you can see Site B has the correct ID, and we did not have to change the calculation as it dynamically referenced the Site B tag group. Whilst the parent group tag alias inserts the name of the immediate parent, the tag group's alias will insert the entire parent tag group hierarchy. This makes it useful for referencing tags that are within the same parent tag group. Let's create a tag called SiteIDCopy and set it to a calculation tag. If we insert this tag into the calculation, you can see it references the full tag path. However, instead of this, we can replace the tag groups with the parent group's alias. Now, if we apply changes, we can see it still works. As with the previous demonstration, this ensures that a calculation will continue to work correctly, even if the Site A tag group is duplicated. Once you are ready to save your configuration, click on Save and enter a new name. If this is the first time you've saved a configuration, you'll be prompted to make this the default tag configuration file to be loaded when the system restarts. Note that the driver configuration and tag configuration are saved in the same file. Everything that you can do in the configuration application can also be done programmatically using our free .NET assemblies or the REST API. You can find more information about those in our knowledge base under the Programmatic Interfaces section. There you will find details on the OAS configuration, where you can set and get tag properties, as well as manage driver interfaces. Under the REST API section, you'll find complete documentation that you can prototype with Postman. There are also some nice troubleshooting features built into the OAS engine. If we go to the Configure Options screen and look under System Logging, we can enable transaction logging for calculations. The property is called Log Calculation Transactions. Further down, you can specify where to save those transaction log files by editing the transaction log path. Finally, click on Apply Changes. If you would like to try Open Automation software for 30 days, you can click the download link on our website.